Hello, world of internet. This is Shakti Rios reporting on week 13 of my Florida School of Massage experience. I want to open up this video by recognizing that this video is really hard for me to film right now. It's a couple days late than I usually like to film. I like to be pretty on task about filming once a week the same day. And the reason being is that I keep sort of putting it off. And I was sitting with that today before I filmed this, decided to sit down and film it, wondering why that was. And I realized that at this particular moment in the program, I am experiencing, there's my cat. I am experiencing a lot of simultaneously occurring intense experiences, and it's involving a lot of my attention and a lot of my focus in different places. And I have a tendency of doing this in general. As a writer, this happens to me a lot. When I'm really involved in something that's going on in my life, when a lot of things are happening at the same time, and I'm actively participating in something, I frequently will choose to participate without taking the time to reflect or write things down. So quite often, some of the most exciting, positive, amazing experiences in my life go undocumented for an extended period of time because I'm very much in the moment, experiencing it, and just being with it. Contrary to that, when things are really difficult, or I'm really sad, or I'm really feeling isolated or separate, is when I find all the time in the world to write things down or document them. So, interestingly enough, right now in my life, I have this combination of really positive things happening and really could be chaotic things happening. And it's, as a result, creating this simultaneous desire to document and then not. I've never actually had an experience quite like what I'm living through right now, so it's really new and profoundly interesting and self-revelatory. The last video, I was still on spring break of school, and I was down south with my family, which ended up being an amazing visit. Probably one of the most profound experiences I've ever had with my family ever. I left home many, many years ago, and my relationship with my family was really strained for me for an extended period of time, for many reasons. And this last visit, I feel like I managed to reconnect with everyone in my life from my past, with all members of my family on a new level, on a much more compassionate level. Even my mom, the last night that I was there, we had a really long, amazing conversation, and one of the things she said to me was, I feel like we finally learned how to treat each other. And to me, that feels really true. That's exactly what has happened. Somehow, along this road of self-discovery and living, I learned how to treat the members of my family, and they've learned how to treat me. And that's really profound for me. It creates a lot of hope and joy to know that I can take these relationships that I've had for so long and transform them into something really positive, even when they haven't been so, maybe, in my experience, for a long time. And I definitely credit FSM for having a huge impact on my ability to recreate those relationships. Because I've spent so much time in such a safe and beautiful place like FSM, I've had a lot of time to make contact with myself and really understand myself on deeper levels, take advantage of the safety that is created in that space, and just really go places where I might not have wanted to go before stepping into that very special place. So because I have felt so safe and so supported and so nurtured, I really wanted to extend that to my family when I went to go visit them, and I feel like I really did a great job of holding space for them in the same way that space is being held for me. And I really saw the effects of just being able to be with someone without an agenda, without an intention of creating change or having them see something my way or understand something my way, just by being with them and being in the energy of holding their space, whatever space they want to have held for them, created so much change. It was really powerful. Paul spoke to us today, Paul Davenport, the director of the school, spoke to us today about how so frequently less can be so much more, and I really feel like I'm having that experience right now of realizing that an agenda is never really necessary, ever, when we want to create change. Having a vision, having an intention is helpful to help us get clear. But when we approach others or we approach a project or a situation, to the extent that I can choose to be agendaless, I can just choose to be with the experience or the person or the project as it is, and see what happens when I make contact with that space without an agenda, and allowing the situation or the person to unfold as they wish just because of the contact, really leads to amazing transformation and has the capacity to be completely incredible. So that's really sinking in for me right now. Since I've gotten back from spring break, many of the relationships in my life have changed dramatically. There's been a lot of, in some areas, coming closer, in some areas, separation, and it's been a pretty beautiful experience to learn how to navigate all of those relationships gracefully and with patience and peace. And that's something I can't say that I've had very much of in my life in the past. And it feels really powerful and really humbling to me to be able to handle a challenging situation gracefully. And I also give FSM's presence credit for that in my life, because I've just really learned that there's a limitless capacity to be graceful in everything that we do, and how we treat each other, and how we treat ourselves, and how we deal with day-to-day situations. And all it requires of me is my desire to be graceful about it. And so it is. And so that's how I'm approaching all of my changing relationships right now, and I'm pretty moved by the results of such an approach. We started Polarity the very first day we came back from spring break, and Polarity is a new modality, and it's an energy work modality, the premise of which, succinctly, is making contact with two different poles, a positive and a negative charge, like a battery, or different charges of magnetic charges. Is making contact with two different parts of the body, two different poles, and then just holding the contact in stillness, not doing anything, not trying to do anything, trying to change an energy or trying anything at all. It's just about making contact and holding the space and seeing what comes up when that specific contact is made. And so this work has taken us all, in my experience, into a very, very quiet space. We went from having a pretty active and involved group of people in one room massaging each other to having perfect silence in many of the sessions that we've had so far. And this is towards the end of the week, so we've had like 4 sessions of Polarity, and I could hear every sigh in the room, every session, which to me is incredibly profound and amazing, to be able to witness a collective group of people, about 35 of us in a room, and we're all perfectly still and silent, perfectly focused, perfectly engaged, in relationship with each other. For me, it has been so incredibly powerful, and I feel like I've gotten to know my group of peers on an entirely new level through their silence, which has been really profound for me. Part of what we're doing with Polarity is using elemental forces, so earth, fire, water, air, and doing different holds on the body that are representative of these elements, of different characteristics of the elements. And this was developed by someone called Randolph Stone, and he, every element has specific characteristics to it. Like earth is the most physical manifestation of all the elements. It's the most concrete, it's grounded, and it's denser. And so the poses that we do on the body revolve around that groundedness, that center, on the stomach and that sort. So we just went through earth. That was the first element that we've approached and gone through, and earth was really, in my head I was like, okay, great, an element for grounding and just, feeling really connected to the earth. And when I received earth, I all of the impatience that was in my body surfaced, and I was just wrapped up in impatience, just incredible impatience. And so right now I am sitting with everything that came up for me for Earth, and really looking at how the relationship between Earth as an element is such a patient. The Earth is so patient. Everything grows the time that it grows. You know, there's no rushing the Earth to do something. The Earth just does it when it's ready. And I feel like that's right now what I'm meditating on, is how to give myself that patience and myself that space to have things grow when they're ready to grow, or subside when they're ready to subside, and just being with that. This is my most recent massage experience. Today is Friday the 13th, and that's amazing. 13 being my favorite number, it's just a very energetic, positive day for me. It's also video 13, week 13, which is really uncanny. All these 13s. So I'm having a pretty positive day right now. I'm feeling great about the program. I'm super curious as to where this is going to go, and how all of our relationships are going to change, not only with each other, but with ourselves, come graduation in July. And as always, I will continue to film and keep you posted on a weekly basis. Sometimes videos might be earlier, sometimes later, but no matter how uncomfortable or distracted I might feel, I am committed to filming weekly. So I will see you for our next video for week 14, and wish you all many blessings.